team belt. Up next, it's Ultimate X.
Well, basically, there's two reasons why I have the advantage in this Ultimate X match. Reason number one, I've been in more Ultimate X matches than anyone in the history of pro wrestling. I have more experience. I know what it's like in there. Reason number two, I have my brother in there, Alex Shelley. Now, although Alex, you are the X Division champion, I've held the title 4 times, and a 5th does sound very sweet, because it's been at least 2 years since I've held that belt. But my main goal is to make sure that that belt, by any means necessary, comes back to Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, ever since I got this title, I've been defending against multiple people at the same time, but this match, this is something else. I mean, there's a big difference whether you're falling 15 feet onto your back or onto the back of your neck. Now, looking down the list of competitors here, you got Chris Sabin. My pick to win it, honestly. He's my tag team partner, and if I can't win it, I hope he does. The victory for Detroit is a victory for both of us, but Lethal Consequences, man, we've had our battles with them up and down. They've taken it to us at every turn. I don't want to say that the clock's ticking for them to beat us, but maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, this match, there's so many X factors, suicide being the biggest X factor. I mean, we know nothing about him. We know he likes to attack us from behind, but how do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for a guy who's going to kill himself, who has no regard for himself in a match like this? I don't know. Any shortcut I have to take, any way I can cheat, anything I have to do to keep this belt, I'm going to do it.
The Ultimate X match. I don't know what to say about it, you know. I can't say I'm not nervous. I can't say I'm not a little scared about it. But I've never been in a match like this. How can I even say I'm prepared for this? Those ropes, you've got to climb across them. They're so high above the top rope, you can't even really begin to imagine how it is being up there. But it's probably the most dangerous match that I've ever seen, that I'm ever going to be a part of. And preparation is, there's not really much you can do to prepare for this. But there's a lot of factors going on. We've got the guns, we've got suicide, who we know nothing about. And then on the other side of it, we've got my tag partner, Jay Lethal. And while I am nervous of the injury and all the things that are going to have to go into winning this X Division title for the first time for me, I don't want to get hurt, and I don't want Jay to get hurt, but he knows that he's going to do what he has to do, and he knows that I'm going to do what I have to do to get that X Division title. And afterwards, we'll see what happens, but in that ring, we're opponents, and I'm going to do everything I can to get that X Division title around my waist.
When you're talking about the Ultimate X, you're talking about an extremely, extremely dangerous zone. I mean, the most dangerous match I've ever seen and been a part of, yeah. Very dangerous. I mean, never walking away the same. I mean, got guys in there. Everybody wants to be the X Division champion, right? That's what's hanging on the X. Yeah. Dangerous. Yeah. I mean, I got the shakes. I mean, I tried to climb it today. Ooh, couldn't stop shaking. You know why? I'm not even sure what the height on that thing is. I mean, it ultimately comes down to what are you willing to do for that X Division title, huh? I mean, is the injuries worth it? Is the danger worth it, huh? Bodies broken, friendships. Gotta remember that. I mean, I'm in there with a good friend, a partner, a tag partner. Consequences Creed. I mean, a lot of factors, yeah. I mean, I guess what everything boils down to is when you put everything in a big ball, friendships, bodies, injuries, careers, put that all together and put it next to the X Division title, and you ask yourself, is this all worth it? And I can only think of one thing, yeah, I mean, oh yeah, it's worth it.
So
describe the Ultimate X?
Risky, dangerous.
Total, non-stop freak out.
The Ultimate X is a giant X above a six-sided ring. You climb up the truss and you grab whatever's in the middle.
Some people say it's a shape, but I think it's a letter.
I think it ranks among the most different of matches. I mean, obviously, there's been nothing like it in pro wrestling.
Well, as everybody knows, this kind of match is about how much heart you got.
You don't really know what you're getting into. I mean, it's completely unpredictable, and you don't know what's going to happen. So I think just the best thing you can do is just to be mentally and physically strong.
You know, there's going to be wrestling in the center of the ring, but at the same time, you've got to climb up those pillars, you climb across those ropes, and get whatever's hanging.
Destination X, I'm defending my title against Black Machismo, Consequences Creed, Suicide, and my partner, Chris Sabin.
How many people is that? Is that all that's in the match? Come on! How can you win with those odds? There's only 5 guys. I get rid of one, I climb the other one, and pull me down.
You know what? I'll probably try and figure out every corner I could possibly cut, any way I could possibly cheat. I have no qualms about doing that. I'm worried about myself, number one, for my own well-being. And on the flip side of that coin, I'm also worried about Chris Sabin's well-being because we're still a tag team.
It came down to me and Jay, then yeah, we're a tag team, but we understand only one man can hold that title.
I guess the only one I would be worried about in this match would be Suicide. I mean, the guy's name is Suicide. Who knows what he's going to do?
He's the wild card in this match. I've seen him come and, you know, clear the ring out, but as for his wrestling ability, I'm not exactly sure what he can do.
I'll tell you about Suicide, yeah. It's a little scary when I can't see a man's face.
I hope I would be correct in assuming he would have no qualms in killing himself to get that title.
I don't really have any predictions, as long as it's me or Alex. That's all that matters.
Since I've come in, you know, that's what I wanted, the X Division title.
I want to be the champion, the X Division champion.
As long as the belt comes home to Detroit, I'm happy.
5 of the X Division's brightest stars prepare to sacrifice it all in the high-flying, death-defying, free-for-all, the Ultimate X.
It's here. It's time. It's up next at Destination X. It's the return of Ultimate X with the X Division Championship belt on the line. And here are the X Factors. The high-risk, high-wire spectacle returns with champion Alex Shelley's belt up for grabs in a 5-way match. Even though we've seen him as a dominant force in a vigilante-like appearance, how will Suicide fare in match competition? Tonight, his official debut. If experience plays a factor, Chris Sabin has to be the odds-on favorite. This is his 9th Ultimate X match. He has 3 wins, and tonight, it's Chris Sabin's chance to become X Division champion for a 5th time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ultimate X for the TNA X Division Championship. The wrestler who retrieves the championship belt and lands in the ring will be the TNA X Division Champion. Introducing first, from Atlanta, Georgia, Consequences Creed.
We talked about Sabin's built-in advantage when it comes to experience. At the opposite end of the spectrum, Consequences Creed competing for the first time.
I mean, you've got to be absolutely nervous in your Consequences Creed because this is so intimidating.
The next 2 participants from Detroit, Michigan, and representing the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and the TNA X Division Champion, Alex Shelley.
The champion Shelley not wearing the gold down the ramp because the title belt's already been put in position high above the ring, right at the center, right at the middle of that X. Yep, Sabin has the big experience edge. Alex Shelley, only 1 time has he ever appeared in an Ultimate X match. They also have each other to watch their backs.
From Elizabeth, New Jersey, Black Machismo,
Lethal's been there before, competing in 2 Ultimate X matches, yet never victorious. Plus, he's got Consequences Creed to help him out.
Well, that's true, and you get so much more confidence every time you go in there. It's hard to imagine Chris Sabin being in 9 times, but this being the third time, it's going to be a good advantage.
And the final participant, Suicide!
One-of-a-kind entrance by Suicide, flying down from the rafters, from the ceiling here at the Impact Zone to make his official in-ring TNA debut. And we can see as this match breaks down even before the opening bell that they're going to try and take that X-Factor Suicide out of play.
I mean, I'll tell you what, having your first match be Ultimate X, that could be career suicide. For Suicide in a situation like this, it's just unlike any match you've ever seen. You mentioned that teamwork earlier that the Guns are going to use, and you know Lethal Consequences will try it too, but right now the situation, I think, with Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, a great advantage for them. But I am looking forward to finally seeing Suicide come in there and being in an actual match and not coming in when people are wore down and tired and doing those attacks like he does.
Opening minute has been all Guns. Reigning champion Shelley, one of the 4 challengers, Chris Sabin, take it right to Lethal Consequences after eliminating Suicide by shooting him out onto the floor. As Shelley starts to climb up the truss, Suicide quickly back in. He takes Sabin out to the floor and drops Shelley down, and Shelley goes face first right on that top turnbuckle.
I'll tell you, this match is unlike any match. It really is my favorite match in TNA because we saw it from its inception and everything that's happened. I mean, it's one of those that you always will see something you've never seen before in professional wrestling. Somebody will try some crazy stunt, and it's just pure energy and pure fun, and it really is something else.
Handstand into the springing back elbow by Black Machismo, able to take down Suicide. Shelley's got Lethal by the leg, spins him around, and then drives him down the head of Lethal right into the knee and leg of champion Alex Shelley.
Alex Shelley that knows that to hold on to his belt right now, he's going to have some luck involved. I mean, think about it. It's not a one-on-one matchup for the X Division title. This is one of those where you might do nothing wrong the entire match and lose your belt just because you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's got so many people to keep his eye on, and you find yourself involved with a competitor like he is right now, and you forget about the other 3. And anytime someone gets an opportunity, they're going to try to get up and get it. Alex Shelley, going to be tough to hold on to this one tonight.
Wow.
Long drop.
Impressive offensive flurry of Shelley. Quickly derailed by Creed as Consequences sends him out to the floor. Sabin follows up to assist and help his Guns partner with the offense on Creed. And now Sabin, you can see that his vision, his eyes are on the belt, and quickly, this is the experience factor, springing from the top right onto the championship belt, and Creed's there to cut him off before he can take down the gold.
Got to give Consequences Creed credit just for having the sense of what was going on at that point. As you saw that belt bouncing around up there, it was so close of Chris Sabin bringing it down. I mean, that could have been a matter of even if he could have got it loosened up, he could have grabbed it when it landed. Chris Sabin, no, man, he's just trying to make sure that Creed never does that again.
Creed taken out of play momentarily. Now it's Sabin and Suicide to square off. Fired off into the corner is the Mystery Man, and he comes out with an elbow and then takes the legs of Sabin completely out. Got him in his sights. Here he comes into the corner and drives the knee right into the chest.
We just know so little about this guy, what he's about, what makes him tick. I mean, if any advantage he has, it's the fact that nobody knows anything about him. You're going to get a quick lesson when in a match like this, and obviously the Guns aren't impressed.
Guns work as a team. Shelley bails out Sabin with Lethal on the floor. Shelley slides through, but then Lethal is there to catch him completely off guard with the kick.
That's a mistake you can't make. You can't find yourself out on this side of the ring. So hard to get up there and get that belt when you're out there, but in the moment you want to just take out every opponent you can. And look at Alex Shelley. He almost baited Jay Lethal into doing that. Caught him by the back of the head in the air and slammed him down. I'll tell you what, vicious.
High-risk move by Lethal doesn't pay off, and now Sabin's Suicide dive directly between the legs of his Guns partner and the champ Shelley. That takes Black Machismo down. Suicide back up to his feet, drops Shelley down on the floor, and it looks like Suicide's gonna fly.
Oh, look at Alex Shelley, though, just sitting there waiting. He can hear him coming. You can hear him. You can hear the footsteps of Suicide. Alex Shelley used that, and I mean stopped anything that Suicide had going on.
Neck of Suicide snapped down on the top steel cable by Shelley. That is back to the ring, and as a result, he gets drop kicked from behind by Creed. Lethal and Sabin fighting it out, duking it out on the floor. Creed headed up one of the trusts, but Suicide cuts him off, got him up on his shoulders, fighting off Shelley.
What in the world?
And rolls through right on top of the Guns and Lethal.
What a move there by Suicide, using Consequences Creed as a weapon. I mean, that's just, I'll tell you what.
They gotta take another look at this. Here's the replay. Creed up on Suicide's shoulders, then he just rolls through like bowling pins just falling down as the Guns and Lethal go down on the concrete.
Suicide right now has a clear path. All 4 other members are outside. Suicide by himself. Somebody is gonna have to get in there quickly if they're gonna stop this.
Suicide about a quarter of the way across to the belt. Lethal's got him in his sights, and a perfectly placed drop kick drops Suicide down to the canvas, but here comes Creed.
Now what do you do if you're Jay Lethal? You realize the Consequences Creed, and by the hesitation, that allowed the Guns to get back in there. That was a move that Creed either had to make a decision from the start. He made the wrong one.
Lethal Consequences square off with the Guns. Sabin and Shelley shot off into the corner. Great teamwork by both Jay Lethal and Consequences Creed. Meanwhile, the door is open for Suicide, and here he comes up on the far side trying to come across the cable.
Jay Lethal this time able to get there real quick and then use that lethal combination to stop him. But I'll tell you something, what people don't realize is when somebody gets high up there and you realize, you know the damage that can happen to them when they fall. Think about the damage it takes for someone like what Lethal did earlier.
A quick boost by Lethal to Creed, his partner, and Consequences is hanging on the title belt. Sabin, in a desperation move, is able to cut him off.
That was the inexperience of Creed. He wasn't sure how to get the belt unwrapped. Now we'll tell you, that was very close for Consequences Creed to take it, but he just couldn't. You got to use some effort to pull those snaps of that belt. Yeah, we've learned from experience, and I'll tell you what, he just didn't realize what it took up there, Mike.
Couldn't agree more. It's why we detailed the past of these 5 competitors when it comes to this match, because this is unlike anything else that you're ever going to see in professional wrestling. That's why the experience factor is so huge, and Sabin gets crotched by Lethal. Could be the opening for Shelley as he comes across, goes frog splash, but Creed gets the knees up.
You know, a lot of times you ask, why would someone make a move like that when they're up there and they can get on the cables? Hey, if you realize that everybody else is in the ring, you get up on them cables, then there's going to be a bad landing. Right now, Suicide, this is going to be his 3rd, I believe, attempt up here. You got to give him credit. He doesn't stop. He just goes right after it. Creed, so close. He tasted it. He goes right after Suicide.
Probably shouldn't be a surprise that someone like Suicide, who makes that kind of an entrance, would be comfortable, both in terms of the truss as well as up on the cable. Look out, look out. A potential Tower of Doom out of the corner. The power man is Lethal. Machismo on the bottom. He's going to try and powerbomb him, and it took out everybody but Suicide.
Look at this. Suicide able to hold on. You're right. He's comfortable up there. Now, can he get himself turned around? He's got a lot of distance to go. Jay Lethal's going to try to get up there and stop. But look at this, though. He got himself twisted there, Mike, and he couldn't get himself going in the right direction. Jay Lethal knew it. Uh-oh. Oh, man.
Didn't take care of him as part of that Tower of Doom, but instead, he drives him down to the mat with a hell of a powerbomb.
We gotta see that again.
Here's the replay. Look, watch the impact as the back and the head of Suicide come crashing down to the mat. Boy, just his head snapped right up.
I'll tell you, you sit there, and you and I have seen so many of these that doesn't shock us, but I'm watching the faces of people in this crowd, and to see something like that for the first time up live and personal, it's something. Well, like we said, you always will see something in this match you've never seen before.
That's why we call it the ultimate in the high-risk spectacle. Lethal sandwiched in the corner by both guns. Flying forearm by Creed takes the champ down. Attention turned to Sabin. Creed gonna shoot him across and does. Here comes Creed, roll through, kip up. Attempt at the clothesline, but instead he gets German right on the back of his head with the Sabin suplex.
Again, everybody trying to do the damage down low. The key to this is to be unobstructed when you get up to the high wire. It really is. All these guys now just doing whatever they can to take somebody out. Alex Shelley, look at that.
Big frog splash, ended up landing on Suicide. Machismo's got Shelley up. High into the air and then face first down to the mat. But when he turns around, it's Sabin with a tornado DDT.
I'll tell you, that'll take you out of a match like this. But now consequences, Creed.
Pump handle, here's the slam, face first goes Sabin.
He's been impressive. They've all been impressive. I mean, you can't deny it. These guys are putting it on the line. You can see what that X Division title means to them. And to win it in this match is the most important, because it is the holy grail of X Division matches. And to win it in this match, it's bragging rights like you've never had before in this division.
Shelley with the brainbuster on Creed, and now the champ feels like with the 4 challengers down that he has a chance to climb up. You can see that he's still favoring his leg, still favoring his knee, trying to get that blood flowing back into the leg, and that momentary delay enables Machismo to come across and to cut him off.
Alex Shelley, not had the opportunity yet. I mean, we've seen Suicide so close. We've seen Creed. We've seen Sabin. Alex Shelley once got up there, but it's not been his title yet to get. This could be his opportunity as he still holds on, but you always got to deal with somebody else, and then here comes Suicide.
Sabin saved his gun's partner Shelley by suplexing Creed across the ring. Now Creed takes down Suicide, and Creed's got Shelley in a position here where he can really do some damage. You heard Shelley calling for Sabin. His gun's partner helps him. Sabin's going to try and powerbomb Creed. At the same time, Shelley's going to go for the sliced bread.
You got to be kidding. No way. Now that is unreal.
That's made in Detroit by the Motor City Machine Guns. Great double team move by Sabin and Shelley on Creed.
We got to see the sliced bread again. Look at this. That's where your partner comes into play. And again, we mentioned it. And one thing about it, the Guns have worked together better than anybody in this matchup. I think we saw a situation where Lethal Consequences were in a tough spot. I think the Guns are more willing to let the other one do something and help them out just to keep that belt within their little private family.
Suicide fights off the cradle shock from Sabin. Takes him down, and as Shelley's going up on the near side right in front of us here, Suicide stops him, drops him down across the top rope. Suicide's got Shelley, shoots him directly into the corner. Comes right at him, but Shelley outquicks him. Sidesteps Suicide, and here goes Shelley. Alex Shelley, the X Division champion, making his way up the truss, but Suicide's right there with him.
Well, this is now a situation. If one of these two can get the other one to go down, fall hard, you might have an opportunity. But I just realized Consequences. Creed's right there in the middle of that ring. It really is so hard to get the victory in a match like this, especially with everybody trying to stop you at all times. And when you get up high and you take a fall from there, you don't know how long you're going to be out, because I mean, you're literally knocked senseless.
Look at
sometimes.
this. You talk about a high risk.
Oh, man.
Suicide hanging on for his life, and you can see that he's got his leg hooked in the truss. That's the only thing that's keeping him from what would be a long fall back and head first down to the concrete. Creed now has Shelley up on his shoulders and takes him down.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a great move for Creed, but the bottom line is it's going to give Suicide a chance to get himself out of that truss, although he seems jammed in there pretty good, trying to figure out a way to get out, and by doing that, you now got Lethal up top.
Lethal and Consequences, Creed, both look clear, but Sabin on the other side is cutting down the space as well.
Oh, now you've got a situation if you can find a way to stay up there and hold on. And
Wait a
look
minute.
at this.
Watch Suicide. Watch Suicide. Look out.
This is crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and new TNA X Division champion, Suicide.
godlike leap from the corner. 3 men crash to the canvas, and Suicide hangs on and becomes the X Division champion. I can't wait to look at this replay package.
You know, you're not even figuring he's a part of it because you think he's stuck. And then you look up, and out of nowhere, there he is, knocking the other 3 down. And you talk about precision, you got to give it to him. The guy landed perfectly on that belt, held on, pulled it off. And
I could look at this replay from every angle that you guys have in the truck.
It's like
it gets better each time I see it.
Dropped out of nowhere.
It gets more jaw-dropping each time I see it. And you know what? Suicide deserves to be X Division champion. What an accomplishment in his first Ultimate X.
Well, you got to give him props. I mean, he was so comfortable up in the air. It was obvious. I mean, that move there, absolutely desperation and unbelievable.
Crowd response, so positive for Suicide. But hats off to everybody involved in Ultimate X, to JB with the World Champion stage.